Hello, Disney Infinity Trainers, and welcome back to a character review series here on iStarlyTV. Today, the last we're reviewing for about a month, and that is Spot. He just came out today alongside Hulkbuster, Ultron, and Darth Maul. So, if you'd like to pick him up, he is from the Good Dinosaur movie, which will be coming out at the end of November, I think around Thanksgiving. So, not known about the character, and why interesting that he came out so soon. And the reason he came out is obviously to promote the movie, but I could see not very many people buying him because they maybe haven't seen the movie, so they don't know what he's all about. Maybe there's some people who really aren't interested in seeing the movie right now or anything along those lines. But for me, I did think it looks like a good movie, and I also think this looks like a very cool character, so I definitely wanted to pick him up. And it's cool to have, all the characters to be able to showcase what they can do in the game. So he looks like a very cool character. He's a little boy and he's basically like a wild kind of feral animal. I think the story in the movie is that the dinosaur character, his name is Arlo, and he finds Spot, and basically he keeps Spot as a pet. And so, Spot is to what we would have as a dog or something along those lines. And he's a little he's a wild boy, right? He can attack. Um, he's kind of crazy. His feet and hands are all dirty. He is barely wearing any hair is all messy, so you know, he lives in the wild basically. That's the point. But he's a very cool looking character. So let's kind of get into the design of the character is great. He's covered in kind of dirt. It matches the whole kind of dirty feel that of him living in the wild and stuff like that. And I think that's very cool. So let's take a look at that skill tree. All right, so he has a very complex health boost system. And so what I did was I went ahead and gave him two health boosts. I wasn't able to hit that third one up there because I invested in other things first. He also has a super jump ability with two levels, so you can make him jump very, very high. And he has super strength, so he's a pretty interesting character, very athletic, and pretty well rounded in that regard. Now, let's go ahead and actually go back here first and take a look here. He's a super jumper, a maximum strength character, and he's also a wall crawler. Very cool. So he can climb walls just like Stitch and Venom and Zeb can, and Groot and some of the other characters. So as you can see, his ranged attack section page on the skill tree is pretty barren. It's almost completely empty. And all I did was invest in the first upgrade as well as the critter crawl, which allows him to duck his head and plow through his enemies with reckless abandon by holding the R2 button. So normally when you press the R2 button or the ranged attack button, he just charges forward, he jumps forward at them. But if you hold R2, then he lunges forward at them, he hits them, and he keeps going. He kind of keeps like running at them. And so I think that can be pretty useful. But for what it is, I guess it's good. As I've said before, I don't personally prefer the ranged attacks that have the character lunging forward. I prefer, ranged attacks that are actual ranged attacks, like blasters or arrows or throwing something, stuff like that. But we'll see how this looks. And then even his melee damage, his combat damage, is not very detailed, but I definitely invested in this one's called Hit the Spot. That's kind of funny. That's basically his ground pound move, so I upgraded that, and I increased the damage of his combat a little bit here. So, where are all the other skill points going, you ask? Let's take a look at this page. This is his special ability page, and as you can see, there is so much going on here. But really what it's looking at is let's take a look at his special ability first. It's called Wild Thing. And what he does is he quickly attacks a target and then bounces ferociously between additional targets as directed. So what you're doing is you're repeatedly tapping the R1 button, which is the special move button. So if you look at a character like Ultron, which I did just review, when you use his special, you press it once, it summons a bunch of robots, they all attack. It's a pretty big special move that does a lot of damage, and then that's it, and then you have to recharge it. With Spot, though, he's actually comparable to Yoda. Yoda's special is very similar here, where you can repeatedly tap R1, and he basically jumps between enemies and slashes them, hits them, cuts them up and stuff. And it actually deals a lot of damage. Dieter actually won the very first episode of Season 3 of the Infinity Games, which was Yoda versus Green Goblin. that was how Yoda won that fight, by using his special and just zooming back and forth all around Green Goblin and basically tearing him up. And so that's what Spot does with his special, and that's why there are so many special move meter upgrades here. I think if you saw in the beginning when it shows the character's face, and well, you can't really see that actually, but he has 14 different uses for this, so he can use it 14 times. Not only that, but it recharges fairly quickly as well. So this is what I'm going to be more interested to focus on, and I felt like it was okay to kind of dump everything into this character's special attack, because his other attacks, as you can tell, aren't very, prominent. And, it's kind of like a little experiment to see maybe that'll be the unique thing about this character, is he'll be a very special-oriented character with not very good combat or ranged attacks. So that adds an element to him that's pretty different than a lot of the other characters. So I like that as well. So let's go ahead and try that out. We have some enemies somewhere over here on this spooky-looking kind of weird alien plant that spawns enemies. Is it too low in the... It might be the locator. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead with his melee first. Oh, and that's pretty cool. He kicks dirt at them, and even that's doing a lot of damage. That's actually pretty decent there. Yeah, I like that. If you keep tapping the attack button, then he, charges at them, then he spins, and then he kicks dirt at them. That's pretty funny. But let's go ahead and show off that special. There we go. I tapped it 3 times, and they were dead. Let's try it again. So there was some broccoli in there as well, but I think they die. Yeah, there's a broccoli right there. All right. Oop. All right, let's try that ranged attack, actually. Oh, he plowed right through it. All right, so we're going to use the special again. Wow, look at that. He just finished those characters. That's actually pretty scary. That's pretty terrifying. Especially in the Infinity games, if he's able to easily dispatch enemies like that. Although his health isn't very, very strong. So whoever fights him in the Infinity games is going to have to be very careful, because he can really just tear them up. Watch this. Watch. Oops. Don't want to go too far. I don't want to fall off. Alright, there's the broccoli. There they are. Alright, we're going to go ahead and dispatch these guys quickly. Oh no! I ran out of uses of it. It's okay. So as you can see, he's kind of like charging, and he plows through the enemies basically. So that's pretty cool. He's crazy. I like that. There we go. That's funny, yeah. Nice. Alright. Oh! Oh! Opa! Okay. Where are we? Oh, I got a couple more uses for the special, so if there are any other enemies, I can go ahead and finish them off. But it doesn't look like there are. Alright, that's fine. Well, hopefully that gives you a good idea of how this character plays out. He's actually pretty powerful, despite not having a lot of, I guess, a lot of options with what he does. But he's still pretty cool. He's very, very unique. And he's a cool character overall. I'm definitely excited to watch the movie The Good Dinosaur, which is coming out, I believe, November 28th, I think. So he also jumps. Look how high he jumps. He jumps pretty high as well, so he can go ahead and, fly across these trees and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. He's a really high jumper. And I guess that adds to the kind of wildness of the character, is that he's pretty athletic. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this character review. What is that? Who's there? How did he spawn? All right, that's pretty crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and go over here. Whoa, that's hard to control. It's kind of like Stitch's ball roll ability. All right. Some ruins. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of iStarlyTV, and I hope you enjoyed watching the character Spot run rampant. Hopefully this has influenced your decision to maybe pick up the character, or maybe it's changed your mind. If you weren't interested before, maybe you are interested now. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. I definitely did too. And I'll see you next time. Let me know what you thought of the character, and I will also post a link to the playlist, the full character review playlist for Disney Infinity 3.0 in the description in case there are other characters that you haven't picked up yet that you would like to see gameplay for. I know that can be very helpful. So, as always, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Follow us on Twitter and on Twitch. We do stream, and I'll probably be streaming pretty soon to show off the characters. So, thank you for watching. Have a great day.